When we allow ourselves the permission and the space to diversify ourselves, now we get to see everyone else around us flourish. We flourish, others flourish, and we get to see and meet a new part of who we are designed and created to be.
If you're not conscious about your investment strategy, you won't end up where you want to be, not financially or as a human. On this show, we interview highly successful investors and share how they overcame limitations to become unstoppable forces of success. If you're ready to learn what it is to be a conscious investor so you can end up where you want, keep listening.
Hey, conscious investor. Oftentimes, we're so focused on diversifying our finances. We want to make sure that we have different accounts. We've got our savings accounts and our checkings accounts. We have our different retirement accounts set up and situated, and we have our different assets that we are strategically investing in. And we can be so focused on the money side of things that we forget that we as people need diversification. Oftentimes, I find myself, it's very easy to slip into the rut of getting stuck in the same hobbies, around the same people, going to the same places, staying in the same job or career. I'm not a poster child for being stuck in that particular area. But so often we gravitate towards same, towards comfortable, towards familiar. And while that can be really, really helpful for us, we also need to recognize it can hinder us. Help and hinder are really two sides of the same coin. I've recorded a podcast episode in the past, and it was about Steve Jobs and about micro decision making and how, hey, one example I used, Steve Jobs wearing a black t-shirt. Go figure, I actually wear a same V-neck black shirt on every podcast episode. Nearly every podcast episode. I don't want to have to think about it. I just want to focus on delivering great content to you, conscious investor. And while there is a time and place for not diversifying our life towards allowing micro decisions to make things easier and open up bandwidth, it's easy to slip into a rut, and it's easy for us to become complacent. I can think about a hose that gets kinked. Right now, if I look over my window, I can see my tractor sprinkler and it's going. If you don't know what a tractor sprinkler is, they're amazing. You could take a long extended hose and then you put this big sprinkler, and it looks like a micro tractor, hence tractor sprinkler, and it has a guide. You put the little wheel on the over the top of the hose. And the force from the water coming through the hose actually pushes the sprinkler along. And it has a little propeller on top that's just spitting out the water going around. So you can really, with people, families like ours where we have a lot of grass that needs to be watered and we don't have a sprinkler system, it makes it easy. But guess what happens? If you buy a cheap hoses, they kink, and it's miserable because then you have to go and find where the kink is, and the tractor sprinkler stops. And then you know what else happens is that sometimes you end up getting wet because maybe the kink is closer and you didn't turn the water off. I know I am speaking from experience. And you end up getting wet. And my point in describing this tractor sprinkler to you is that a lot of times we become complacent. Let me give you one more extended example. Yesterday, the tractor sprinkler actually somehow got twisted and tangled up. I truly don't know how this happened, but I noticed that it got stuck at a tree. It literally had just gone straight into a tree and was stuck there but it was kept watering. And that's where most of humanity is. Most people are at that point where they have flow, it's coming through, it's going through the hose and the water is coming out and it's, sprinkling everything around it. But we're just stuck in that tree. We're just stuck in that job. We're just stuck in that same peer group that don't have the same intentions or ambitions that we have in life. We're stuck in the same hobbies. Yeah, we should be trying other hobbies. Maybe even we're stuck in that exact same part of our career. Could be golden handcuffs. A lot of you conscious investors have golden handcuffs on. It's like, can't leave this money, really? So we get stuck. And all the best of us is just being spilled out and poured out in this one part of life, this one section of life, when there's this whole other area that needs the best of us. We're just stuck. It's not a great place to be, conscious investor. And we have to be extremely intentional about truly diversifying our life. Remember, not just our finances, but our life in general. Maybe like me, you have that, I go to that coffee shop, I go there in the morning, and this is how my morning goes. And it's a routine, and it's great, and it's a healthy habit. But how do we switch things up? Even switching up the coffee shop, challenging myself right now with that one. All this to say is that I want you to consider areas of your life where you're just going through the motions. You're just sprinkling the exact same area. And if you were to get really still, if you were to quiet yourself, you would recognize that there's something more. So when we allow ourselves to listen to that quiet voice, the thing that is calling us, then we can lean into it and we can say, what is this that's drawing me? And as we go into that, as we lean into it, we're able to launch the very next chapter, the very next best part of our life. In fact, going back to the tractor sprinkler, if I was to look at the lawn, if that sprinkler stayed in the one spot, the rest of the grass is going to die away. But because that tractor sprinkler is going across the guide, the hose is acting as a guide, and because that tractor sprinkler is moving across that hose, it is sprinkling all parts of the grass, and all the grass gets to stay healthy and beautiful, and it grows and it flourishes. And we can imagine this in two different ways. One, our life personally flourishes as we invite this level of diversification into our life. When we allow diversification in where we go, what we do, who we hang with, how we go about our occupations and such, we're able to grow ourselves. We grow, we change, and the world around us grows and changes. The people around us grow and change. I can think of one of my coaching clients. She's just phenomenal. She opened an art gallery. And from opening that art gallery, she is providing substantial change. It's like this huge boulder was just dropped in the middle of the ocean, and she is just this powerful ripple. And more people's lives are being affected. Art is so critical to our lives. Creativity is just like so important for our lives, and most people just snuff it out. And she's just bringing this creativity to the world around her, and you can see the vibrancy. You can feel it. It's actually palpable and tangible within the community because of what she is doing. When we allow ourselves the permission and the space to diversify ourselves, now we get to see everyone else around us flourish. We flourish, others flourish, and we get to see and meet a new part of who we are designed and created to be. So, conscious investor, take a moment, listen to that quiet, still voice. Lean in to what is drawing you in. And don't hesitate to launch into that. This is where the thunder is. This is where life is. And I can tell you, this is a life that I've personally led. And it is so full of adventure and excitement. And yes, it brings challenges along the way. But we can face those challenges and we can explore and understand so much more of life. So, 3 things that we're going to do this week, right? Listen, lean in, and launch. Conscious investor, if you haven't already reached out to me and scheduled a time for us to talk, please do. I love speaking with you. It's totally the highlight of my day, just getting to know you and supporting you. In fact, I just want to give a huge shout out because I have this amazing review that was just left on the podcast from Belinda. And she said, "Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. Being late in the game of investing has weighed heavy on me, and speaking to you brought some new sense of peace. Not to say that you had all the answers, but to say that you were open to listen and especially being honest with your answers about your experiences, concerns, or just overall suggestions. Thank you for making me feel okay asking you anything and not stupid for asking. Look forward to listening to all your podcasts and sharing your info with friends and family." Belinda, I just want to say thank you. That call completely will probably always stand out in my mind because it was such a fantastic phone call. And in that conversation, it actually diversified my thinking on a few different elements in the investing space and how they directly affect lives and the diversification of people's lives. So that is like so exciting. So you can see, conscious investor, not scary to talk to. I am here to support you. By the way, at the time of this recording, I do have a single coaching spot that is opening up. Yeah, sometimes it's time for coaching clients to sunset, and that is normal, natural, and that's part of the launch, right? We lift people up and we launch them off. If you're looking to take that next huge step in your life and you want to take massive action, let's talk. Let's see if that's the right fit, and let's see how I can possibly support you, because my coaching clients, oh my goodness, they are just changing the world in powerful ways. I cannot even express it. And I'm so excited for them and their contribution to the world and the lives around them. Don't be afraid to diversify yourself and your life. I appreciate you, conscious investor. And until next time, live big, love bigger, and do great things.
What's the big deal about investing in apartments? Why is it better than investing in a slew of single-family homes? I've compiled a lot of information on why investing in a multifamily, also known as apartments, will help you reach your investment goals. Head over to 3keysinvestments.com and download the Why Invest in Multifamily guide today.